How's it going, everyone? It has been quite some time since we've made a video on this channel, hasn't it? Looks like it's been over a year. My apologies for not making videos as often. I guess it's a good thing that there's not as many scams as I feel like there used to be, which is probably a good thing. And sorry, I'm just messing with the settings in the microphone. Real quick, if you are new here, my name is Bruce Long. I make videos just exposing the Forex market, exposing companies that I believe to not be a good idea to go with. I always want people to kind of make sure that you understand where I'm coming from. I am coming from a person that's just giving an opinion, an educated opinion, a person who's been in this business for over almost going into a decade now. And so I just kind of want to show you the truth behind it. If you're not familiar with the videos that I've done in the past, I haven't made very many. But these two here, the ugly truth and what's wrong with the Forex industry, are good ones to start with. I mean, I'm very, very blunt on how it is, what it's like to be in this industry, what it's like to see these companies really try and kind of pull one over on you and try and trick you and all of these sort of things, make you think that you don't really know what you're talking about, make you think that you need them in some way. I talk about portfolios, something that's extremely, extremely important. I talk about how easy it is to be fooled by people like this, how easy it is to be fooled, and part two, where it shows withdrawal and the withdrawals are not real. It's very easy to manipulate in this space. It's very, very easy. What I find kind of hilarious is that I haven't really looked at this channel very often, and the last time I made a video was on Silver Star. I haven't actually looked into Silver Star ever since I made the video, and I came back and to see that it wasn't even over 1,000 views, unlike all the other ones. So I'm guessing, so I started to guess that maybe Silver Star went under because they were an MLM, and lo and behold, on the CFTC's website, they filed a suit against them. And so, and David Wayne Mayer, who I talk about in the video, and they ended up filing a suit against them. And I think it was like $75,000 suit along with other fines and all this sort of great stuff. So yeah, so I mean, I try to make it very, very blunt. I try to make sure that everyone understands where I'm coming from. I'm not here to personally attack anybody. I do talk about CEOs in the companies. I'm not here to personally attack anyone. I'm just trying to give you an opinion. Sometimes, like VKU, for example, made me kind of get into more parts than that I really wanted to. And it was basically because it became to like where they were just coming into an attack. And it's, because I'm exposing them, I'm exposing what they're doing. And with VKU, and he's working with IML now, which I've made a video on, it being a scam. Christopher Terry has had many lawsuits. CFTC's looked at him, the SEC, local FBI in Nevada. All these people have looked into him before. So it's like, why would you go to a business like that? Vector Kings was no different. I mean, this guy Tyrone Foster was selling what a trader is called a Steve Morrow, and he has his own method. And I'm not too sure if he created it or not, but I know that I spoke to Steve Morrow through email, and he told me he was actually filing suits against 11 or 12 different people who were selling his stuff and mocking it as their own. Tyrone Foster was one of those people. So he has nothing that is proprietary to him. It's all stolen. And if you know anything about MT4 or MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5 for that as well, is that when you are changing code or changing titles on EAs or indicators or things like that, it's considered to be intellectual property theft. It's considered to be that through MT4's guidelines. This is why you cannot take an EX4 file and decompile it so you can change the code. It's not allowed. It's illegal to do. And so a lot of these guys do that. So it's kind of like, why would you want to go down a business that is doing that? So taking that all aside, I want everyone who is new here to know where I'm coming from in this, because I know this business that I'm about to talk about, if you haven't seen the video already, it's probably going to get a lot of backlash, and it's because it's an MLM. All the MLMs that I've ever reviewed that go into the Forex industry, I get bashed pretty hard about it. So let's go and talk about this business here, Epic Trading. I've been getting a lot of emails regarding this business, but what's interesting is that I wasn't getting emails specifically about Epic Trading. They were giving me material that Epic Trading is starting to give to their clients or potential or future clients, because they haven't actually fully opened yet. excuse me. And it's interesting because I started noticing this pattern of what people were sending. People were giving out different, like the same books and saying, hey, I was given this book through a company. What do you think about it? It was never like, hey, I'm joining this company called Epic Trading. Tell me what you think. It's kind of interesting. So we're going to talk about that. So, I mean, the biggest thing for me is, I think that the look is always everything when it comes to these businesses. You can always tell, like, when they're going in for the hype. And so, businesses that are going in for this very, very sleek type of, almost like, oh, look, you can have this Rolls Royce and this mansion, and look, we volunteer charity and we do all these things, and like it's showing all this money. It's just all hype. It's a slight form of brainwashing in a sense, and I know that a lot of people will say that's rude to say, but it is, And so you're thinking, oh, I'm going to be so big that I can have meetings in boardrooms and I can take vacations at places like this and all that great stuff, and it never really turns out to be that. So let's look into see what they're actually offering as far as their clients. So they've got an Epic University, they've got trade alerts, trading sessions, fundamental analysis, market forecast, member support, 2-week syllabus, and a trade strategy that is trademarked called the 20 pips and dip. Now, I find it funny when businesses put in member support as far as like their key points of their program or their product. It's like, shouldn't support be a part of it anyways? Why is this a part of what I'm paying for? So it's kind of like, maybe it's support through their own members, but then again, why would you want support for people who are just on the same level as you? You want to get support from people who know higher than you so you can learn. And so what I will say, going kind of to a side note here, what I've been seeing as a pattern in all these businesses is they're attacking the education side of everything. They're not going down the road of, oh, we're going to trade for you. Oh, we've got this method. Oh, we've got this. It's kind of funny because Silver Star was the last business that I had seen that actually had like an EA that was trading for people. They took that leap to take that risk, and it obviously shot them really hard in the face and lost people a lot of money because it was blowing accounts left and right. He got to walk away a millionaire, but everybody else didn't make anything. Unless they were in what they call the comp plan, unless they were making money being an affiliate, being an IBO, which we'll talk about with this business as well. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, Bruce, like, there's a lot here. I'm paying this premium of, I think, $99.99 a month, so basically $100 a month for all this stuff. It seems like a lot. I'm getting all this stuff. It's basically like $10 a piece, pretty much. Well, let's look at it. What is an Epic University? What are the fundamental analysis? What is market forecast? What is this 2-week syllabus? And taking the trading aside, let's look at what they're talking about as far as how you can be taught. Going into this, if you're a newbie, understand that there is nothing new that has come out. Bollinger Bands, MACD, support and resistance, supply and demand, RSI, the ebbs and flows of the market circulation, correlation between currencies that correlate with indices. All these things. I could go on and on and on and on and on. Market psychology, your own psychology, trading plans, trading journals, all this stuff. It's not new, and so you're paying for somebody to teach you all of these things that you could learn for free online. You just have to make the leap. You have to take the time to do it. So why pay somebody to do it for you? Now, it'd be different if they had some sort of proprietary thing and they were training you in a specific way and all sorts of stuff, but these businesses never do that. They don't spend the time or the money to make it different. It's all about, let me just give you what's free online. Here you go. It's information, take what you will. And what I find with businesses like that is they love to turn the tables on the clients. And when the trading does start to commence with this company, which it will in the next couple of weeks, from what I have researched online, if you are not trading well, or you're taking their live trade alerts, their epic trade alerts, you're taking these alerts and you're losing money, and you start to complain, and you make a review, or you complain through an email, or you complain through a comment on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, they usually turn back and say, well, you're not learning, you're not doing this properly. We told you to buy at 1. You took the buy at 105. You know, the markets are fast. You got to do this. You got to learn how to do that. It's always your fault is what I'm getting at here. And this is how these businesses work. Now, I'm not saying that's what Epic is doing, but they're taking the exact same path as every other business I have seen and made a review about, or I have looked at and have not made a review on because it wasn't really, you know, it wasn't big enough to be detrimental to a very large scale amount of people. And so it's just basically statistically they're going to take the same avenue. And so let's go into these live trading sessions, these fundamental analysis. It's again, we'll take the trading aside. The live trading sessions, who's doing them? Throughout all of my research, I couldn't find anybody talking about specific people. You talking to these people. I mean, they have a bunch of webinars. The CEO has a bunch of webinars, but they don't really ever introduce you to these people. And so it's kind of like, so who are these people? Well, through, again, more research I found and people who had emailed me, I found that there was a company called Tradera, and I was actually going to make a video on them, but then they ended up closing down, but then they reopened. And I think that everybody kind of caught on to the scam. So, you know, there you go. But what I heard through the grapevine is that Tradera's traders actually kind of stepped back from Tradera and went to this company, Epic Trading. Well, what you'll find is people were losing money with Tradera because their traders were awful. So it's kind of like people didn't learn. People are like, oh, well, if we take the same people and put them into a different company, that'll be completely different, right? Sadly, it's a very ignorant way. It's a very sheepish way to think that if you are just going to take something and put it in a different place, it becomes something different. It doesn't. And so these guys probably don't have, I mean, I could probably, bet my bottom dollar that these guys don't have anybody who is really known in this industry. People who trade for private banks, people who trade for firms, people who trade for even private firms or hedge funds or whatever, they're not going to go for an MLM business. I mean, honestly, be realistic. Think about that for a second. Do you think these guys who are making a ton of money are going to just join an MLM to be with them? No. And now they'll say, well, this guy has 20 years experience. He has this, he has that. But then when you look them up, you can't find anything on them. So it looks great on paper, but then there's no proof. And so you have to be understanding of that. Now, going into the trading, let's just talk about the trading now. And then we'll go down into the list of a market forecast and the 2-week syllabus, and we'll go down to that. So let's go into the trade alerts. So I did end up finding a video because, man, throughout going down the rabbit hole of all these videos, I could not find many that was talking about the trading. It was typically talking about the comp plan, the compensation plan, how much money you can make when you bring people in. That's pretty much all they talk about. But I did find one video where he touched base on it for around 30 seconds of like a 15-minute video. And he claims that they have already made, within 1 month, they've made 10,000 pips. 10,000. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that that's impossible. But what I will say, it's impossible to make that consistently every single month. It's not going to happen because I want you to actually see the numbers on that. I'm going to bring up a calculator just so you can visually see it. So we have 10,000 pips, right? Well, let's say, for example, that you're trading on mini lots, not micro, not standards, mini lots, 0.1, 0.1. So when you're trading on the Euro USD and that's all you're trading, okay? And you're making 10,000 pips, where you're making $1 per pip that you gain. So 1 times 10,000 is obviously 10,000. So you would have made $10,000 in 1 month. If you consistently make that, you'd make $1.2 million in a year. So, that's with 10,000. My apologies. So that's $120,000 a year. So how realistic is that? You're paying $99 a month to make $120,000 a year? How realistic do you think that is? What if you're trading one standard? You've got a high leveraged account. You've got a 1 to 1,000 account. You've got, great spread. You've got this great brokerage that, oversee offshore broker that's giving you all this great stuff. I mean, who knows what brokers they're promoting? Probably FX Choice or Trader's Way, all these offshore brokers. And let's say you've got this extreme amount of leverage and you're able to trade these one standards because you got like $5,000 in your account. With one standard, you're making $10 per pip. So then you go 10 times 10,000. You made $100,000 in a month. And that is where my math came earlier. was time spent. You make $1.2 million a year only being charged this a year. I mean, be realistic. Be realistic. Do you seriously think that they're going to make that consistently? No, it's not going to happen. It will never happen. These businesses will never do that. Something that you will learn and that I talk about in The Ugly Truth and What's Wrong with the Forex Industry, I talk about how the big banks, these traders, these well-known people, the people who do this for a living and have for decades, they lose 3 months out of the year. 3 months. And so, but it's all about what they're risking to make money and the amount they're willing to lose for that risk. So you've got to understand that here's something else that it's so funny because I don't actually hear many companies talking about this anymore. They used to a few years ago, but then I think they started scaring people, so they stopped talking about it. But it's a statistical fact that in this business, in this industry, there's a rule called the 90-90-90 rule. 90% of traders will lose 90% of their equity within 90 days. So if you had 100 traders going into Epic, 90 of them will lose 90% of their equity in 3 months. That's the statistical fact in this industry. So what separates them? Nothing. Nothing does. So that is where a lot of these businesses end up falling because they don't realize that this is just the way it is. You can't train everybody and everybody's going to be great. And not only that, but these traders aren't real traders at all. And we'll go into that a little bit more in detail in a bit. But as far as the people who own the company and all that sort of stuff, these guys aren't traders. They're not trading the markets. They're MLM. They're marketers. They market. They're all a part of MLM. They've been a part of pyramid schemes. Like, why would you believe that a person who's done banking for 20 years instantly knows how to build a home, or vice versa? You know, it's kind of like you got to understand where people have their expertise. And we'll get into that again. Well, there's a lot of information on this because I want you guys to understand the truth and the honesty in this. And so you have to realize too that yes, you can make 10,000 pips in a month. You can't do that consistently every month for a year. It's not going to happen. But going into the 90-90-90 rule, the statistic goes even further, and it goes that within 180 days, another 90 days, you're left with 10%. That it says that 7 to 9% will lose the rest of it. They will lose the ones that were a little bit on board, a little bit more than that 90-90-90. They are going to be losing too. So what does that mean? It means that you got the other 10%, the other 10 people, they're going to lose a bunch of money too. And then everybody's going to be busted, but you're going to be left with around 1 to 3% at the end of the year that makes money. Now that doesn't mean they're rich. That just means they've made money. That could mean they make $1 or $10 or $1,000. It doesn't, they just made money at the end of the year. And that's the statistical fact. These are things that these guys will not tell you. And so these trade alerts can't be that great because if they're claiming 10,000 pips a month, imagine the risk that they're putting forth. Now, this is what I've been hearing about Tradera, was these guys were putting on trades without stop losses. Again, I talk about that in What's Wrong with, like The Ugly Truth and What's Wrong with the Forex Industry. They teach you to not put stop losses. I even heard guys in other businesses talking about how stop losses were dumb. No, you have to have stop loss. And these guys typically won't do that because they're trying to suck every bit of the trade that they can out of the market. So that's that. So let's go into look into this like 2-week syllabus. Let's see what this is all about. So throughout some digging, I found this video. And it shows this 2-week syllabus. So if we actually look into what the syllabus says, just bear with me while I get into, I think, yep, right here, he shows it. So looking into this 2-week syllabus, it's not really, it's 11 pages. It's not really like a lot of information. And it talks about, I will read my positive daily affirmations. I will do this and I will do that. Talks about market mental psychology, right? Talks about who you should sign up with, TradingView, all these sort of great things. Talks about currency pairs, currency breakdown, lot size conversion breakdown, lot sizes and leverage, trading stop loss. So they are teaching that, right? But will they implement it on their own trading? So they talk about that. And all of that's free information, everyone. It's all free. This is not proprietary stuff. Let's look into this. The master, you get these books, you know, download Trading in the Zone, download the Candlestick Bible. You're paying for this, mind you. You're paying for it. So look at this. You can see right here on the bottom, I downloaded it. It wasn't from their site. It's from this site, PDF drive. You can get it for free online. Same with this. It's free online. All of it's free. You can download all this stuff for free. So why are they charging you for this stuff? Doesn't make any sense. And so that's what you'll find with businesses like this, is they give you things that they have found for free online and then they charge you for them. It's not a good way to go about it, but this is what these businesses do. Now, let's go into some more things that I noticed going into this whole like comp plan. One thing that you'll find is one of the very first videos I made on this channel was talking about Jarrell Cox, right? I mean, he was a huge con artist in the in what they called the green room, and it was a binary option scam. And I've talked about binary options and how I don't agree with them. Unless you're trading with Nadex, that's a good platform to be on. But all these offshore brokerages that do binary options and these binary option signal services, they're just not good. And so let's look into that, for example. So it was so funny because this guy right here, this Michael Mansell individual who talks about he's a part of Epic Trading now. It's so funny because one of these videos, as you can see, I studied one, and he talks about how, you know, oh, I was a part, you know, I've traded the markets and all sorts of stuff. Now, he doesn't sit there and claim that he's an expert or anything like that. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on it. But he talks about like as if, you know, he's learned from his lesson and all this sort of stuff. It's like, man, you've obviously deleted this video because it's posted by somebody else. And you promoted the green room. I mean, which was a massive scam. And everyone, you know, got really, really hurt by that company. And here you are, you know, promoting the green room, and here you are now promoting Epic Trading. All these guys have done the same thing. They're just marketers. That's all they're doing, is just marketing. And it's so funny because you can see this Big Bag Academy. This individual right here that you can see in the thumbnail looks familiar, right? He's part of Pip Society. It's Leo Williams, which I've made a video on before. Pip Society scam, Pip Society Part 2, talking about that scam too. And so it's like these guys are starting to jump on board on this because they feel like they can make more money, and it's like it's unbelievable. So what I will say is this also is that this business doesn't really, as far as all these promotional videos, any of them, they use things like this, like the #1 problem with Epic Trading, 3 things you must know, stop before you join. This guy acting like he's thinking, don't believe the hype when it comes to Epic Trading scam. All this stuff. Now, I mean, again, like I haven't watched this video. I haven't watched this one, as you can see. But most of these videos where they're acting like they're going to talk about a scam, they're just promoting it. They're doing it so you'll click on it. So then you'll click on it and you'll be like, oh, you know, is this a scam? And they're going to talk about how it's not. And it's just a way to pull you in. They've pulled you in now. But I'm here to tell you that it is a scam. And it's all because of you looking at a business that is run by an individual that used to be a part of a pyramid scheme, as you can see here. Now, I know a lot of people will give me backlash for showing behind MLM's website because, you know, but it's funny because they did the whole thing on IML and showed everybody, you know, more information than I did. They talked about Silver Star, about how bad that was. And here they are already talking about Epic Trading. This was posted on September 6th. It's the 21st of September today. So this was posted almost a month ago. And it talks about the CEO, David, and how he was a part of, you know, this 5 links. He was a part of Paycation, which was a pyramid scheme, and he owns, I think, Evolution Travel. Nowhere in here is about trading. So what's this guy know about trading? Probably zero. That's why he's hiring other traders. So why would you join a business? You think these big banks, the CEOs of these big banks are just were just carpenters before they became that? No, they were bankers. And so they knew what they were doing. So why would you follow a business that's run by a guy who's never even done this before? What credentials does he have to be able to hire the best people, right? You got to think about it that way. What does he know to help pick the right person? It just doesn't work that way. You know, like they're not going to pick the right people for you, because as of right now, it seems like they're gathering up as many people as they can on this $20 pre-launch sale that they're having going on right here, this $19.99 pre-launch sale. And what I've gathered is that from the information I've been given is that they already have, I think it's like over 50,000 clients right now. But then they haven't given you anything yet. They've given you this, but everything else is just about referring. Refer as many people as you can, because then once we start charging you $100 a month, it'll be free. Think about it. It'll be free once you've brought 3 people in. It'll be free for you. See, understand this too. This is so funny, because if you go onto YouTube and search John Oliver MLM, you'll find the statistics on this. So he talks about how if one person were to bring, I can't remember the exact number, it's like 5 or 10 people under them, and they did that over and over and over again, the number is so small on how many people you could do that with until you had everyone on planet Earth under you. Literally everyone on planet Earth. I can't even remember. I think it's like less than 10 rows of people. You have not one person doing this. You have almost 50,000 people doing that. Let's just say it's half the people. Let's say half the people didn't sign up as an IBO and the other half did. So you have 25,000 people trying to refer a bunch of people. How long will that last? How long will that last? And then how long will it last until this company can't pay out the way they want to? You know, this is where a lot of these businesses have a struggle too. Is like I heard that Tradera had that problem. They couldn't pay people out. I've heard a lot of MLMs that have trouble paying people out. This business will be no different. They're going down the same path. You can't tell me that you have one trail and every single time that person walks down the trail, something happens to them. Every single time. Statistically, it's always going to happen. What makes this person walking down the trail different? It doesn't. You have to understand it that way. So I'm coming on about 30 minutes on this video, so I didn't really want to have it this long. I know I'll probably get a lot of crap from this because, I mean, people have been really pushing this as if it's like some sort of godsend. And it's all because it's just MLMs. It's just MLMers. I mean, this guy's a marketer. These guys are marketers. That's all they are. Just people who market. They don't know how to trade. They don't know what they're doing. They're just people who are just marketers. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's like a professional looking video. It's just a marketer. And so they're trying to hype it up. They're trying to make it look like, look how much money you can make when you refer people. The moment, and it's so funny because this review says it very, very well, is that the moment that a Forex business, or any business for that matter, looks into or starts talking more about how much you can earn from other people, it's going to fall apart very, very, very quick. And so, again, I heard about like Tradera didn't last very long until it had a lot of issues. This will be the same way. You know, it's like you have to understand that these guys don't know what they're doing. I mean, as far as the trading aspect of it, talking about making 10,000 pips in 1 month. Are you serious? And it's so funny because they say that, but then they don't prove it. So I know you're saying too that, well, they showed me this portfolio, and and they made 20,000 pips in 2 months, but that's all they'll show you is just 2 months worth of data. Well, if you're going off the 90-90-90 rule, then you can't look at just 2 months. You really can't even look at just 3 months either, because you have to think that maybe they just got lucky and they're a part of that 10% that made it past, and they'll bust it in 6 months, like we know from that 90-90-90 rule. Another 90 days, at 180 days, they will have busted. So you really need to look at 1 whole year. That's what you need to look at. Can they consistently make you 10,000 pips from what they claim? This isn't what I'm claiming. It's what they're claiming. 10,000 pips every month for a year. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. No system out there does that. Because if it did, these big banks would have it, and they don't even do that. Even the big banks lose 3 months out of the year. So they don't have the system, but these guys do. I mean, you have to think of it. Be smart. Be educated. Understand that these guys have nothing different than what's free online. And I'm sure this 20 pips and dip trade strategy that I don't think is actually out yet, it's probably just some free strategy online. You can find free EAs, free indicators, free systems all over the internet as this business has gotten, or this industry has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger online only. These systems have become more prevalent. These systems that charge $1,000 you can find for free online. So understand that, and think of it this way too. If this university is one set that doesn't have any new information coming out, fundamental member support, same way. 2-week syllabus, same way. Trade strategy, same way. It's not new information that's consistently being fed. You got your live trade sessions, your trade alerts, and your fundamental analysis and market forecasts. Market forecasts you can find on TradingView from any person who actually is a certified trader, who actually has been licensed. You can find people who do that. You don't have to get it from these guys. Fundamental analysis, same way. Fundamental analysis you can find. I've talked about it on previous videos. In these videos, I've talked about going into an economic calendar. It's free online. Find what's going on in the world, through the world economy. See if there's elections going on. Is there stuff going on in pipelines? Is there things going on? Is there a war going on? Is there things battling with oil? All this sort of stuff. You can find all of this free online. So you're going to be paying $99 a month for what? There's nothing new coming out here except really the live trading sessions and the trade alerts. So that's what you're really paying for, because everything else isn't just a one-time payment. It's all a part of the monthly payment. So you're really only paying for these two things because that's what's kind of, I guess you would say, their own thing, unless it's being stolen by somebody else, which a lot of these programs do. They take what they believe are good traders off of like TradingView or something like that, and they just steal their signals and put them out as their own. I have seen that before in other companies that I was going to review, is people on Telegram, and these businesses will make their own business, and these people will make their own business and then follow that Telegram group that they thought were good trade alerts, and then they'll just copy and paste them. And here they are charging nothing, or charging like $10, and then this business is charging $100, and it's the same stuff. It's just copy and paste it. Now, I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but you're really only paying $100 a month for this, because everything else is not really new information or proprietary stuff. So understand that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know that it's a long one, and I miss talking to you guys and making these videos. And to be honest with you, it's a good thing that I don't make as many as I do, because it shows that this market may be kind of cleaning out the filth. And it's a good thing to see. To be honest with you, it's a good thing to see these other businesses going into one. It's funny to see Vector Kings going into IML. It's funny to see Pip Society going into this. They're all kind of finally grouping up together, and then they'll all fall down very, very hard together. And so it'll be a good thing. And I hope that you guys understand where I'm coming from. And what I want you to take away from this is that trading is all about the individual. If anything, if you can learn anything from this, is that programs like this aren't going to teach you anything. If I gave you the best strategy in the world, you would still be a part of the 90-90-90 rule. You'll either be a 90% or a 10%. And at the end of the 90 days, you'll either be a part of the other 90 days or you won't. It's not about the strategy, it's about the individual. The strategy can be great, but your emotions are going to be a part of it. If you're a person who has a lot of patience, but I give you a scalping strategy, is that going to work for you? Are you a person who has no patience at all, and I give you a long-term strategy that maybe only gives 1-2 signals a week? Is that going to work for you? You got to think of it that way. So I've been in this industry for a long time. I have taught people before. I have written a lot of things down as far as just training people before many years ago. And I can tell you that this is just how it is. And I can tell you with firsthand experience working on the floor for a firm is that they train you individually. So that should show you something. I should tell you something that they do that. They train you individually. They don't train you as a group the entire time. They work with you individually. So that should show you that they too know that it's an individual thing. It's an individuality thing. So there are great systems out there. There's a lot more bad ones than there are good ones. You're going to have to go through a lot of the filth with it. But one big key in all of this is that I would never, ever, ever trust a Forex, stock market, whatever, trading business that puts MLM garbage inside of it. Comp plans, legs, all this GV, all this stuff. It's all a part of trying to escape from how you're going to make money with their products. It's making money off of the website and the idea rather than it is the products. So that's what I want you to take away from all this. I hope that you guys have a great day, have a great weekend, whenever it is I see you guys again. And be safe. Do your research. Don't just hop on a train just because it's $20 a month. Do some research and think about it. Think about what you're paying for. If you're starting to see all this stuff, start to do some research. What is it that they may be offering that is different? What can I find for free online? If you saw this, it didn't take long to find this. If you see this too and you're like, oh, well, Mark Douglas, I'll look this up. Oh, the Candlestick Trading Bible, I'll look this up. And then you can find it free online. Then you don't have to pay for it. So think of those things. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And as always, stay safe out there.